So how are y'all doing today? It's Fantastic Friday, the end of a normal work week. Hopefully got something great planned for the weekend. And for you that all y'all that work this weekend, have a great time at work, fellowshipping with your coworkers, and always stay safe on your job, no matter where you work. And it's Friday, May 19th, 2023. It's Maskey Finance. And I want to talk to you about something that I started off doing when I started investing with real estate is being self-managing your own properties. Do you want to self-manage your real estate properties, your rentals? It's up to you. It's a choice you can make. So with that being said, I'm Maskey Finance, sitting here in South Florida drinking my cup of green tea. This cup, you probably can't see it very well. Let's see. See that little picture there? You probably couldn't read that back there. You might be able to read it. It's the, I can't read it. It's worn off. It's the, well, what was the name of that? It's in Machias, Maine. It was the library I used to frequent. See that little building there? That was the library. It was built in 1893. So I got the coffee cup. It was actually in 1994. They had it for the 100-year anniversary. And I guess I got two of them. I think one's broke since then, so I still got one. Use it almost, not every day, but quite a bit. So with that being said, do you want to self-manage your properties? I think I said it already, but I am not a financial advisor. I'm not a CPA. I'm not an attorney. I'm not a doctor. I'm not a nutritionist. Nothing like that at all. I'm just Maskey, the little guy. The little guy who bought one rental in January 2017, and by December of 2020, he had 25 rental units. One in January 2017, 25 by December of 2020. If Maskey, the blue collar worker, I was working as a police officer then, if the blue collar worker can do it, so can you. Don't make excuses. So can you. Just stop frivolously spending your money. Car payments, mortgage payments, buying this, buying that, buying the latest, greatest shoes and fashion and whatever it is you spend your money on. I know inflation. If you don't spend money, inflation doesn't impact you as much. If you spend very little, inflation impacts you very little. Keep that in mind. So do you want to self-manage your properties? The first property I bought in January 2017, I self-managed, and I made every mistake in the book. I had to evict my very first tenant. I won't get into that story. I've told it in other videos. And I self-managed my second property, and I self-managed my triplex that I owned that were all local to me, so 5 units that I self-managed. Then I bought out of state, down in Birmingham, Alabama. Then I started buying up in northwestern Indiana and Chicago, Illinois. And I started utilizing property managers. And I did end up selling my second rental house I bought. That was bought in December of 2017. And I used the proceeds from that to buy 4 rental properties up in Indiana. I also, 2 years ago, year and a half ago, whatever it was, I sold my triplex in Virginia as well. So I no longer self-manage those 3 units. And so with that being said, I still have one property, my very first rental property that I bought. I still self-manage it. Okay. I learned a little trick and trait, not a trick and trait, from a fellow YouTuber called Dion. Dion Talks. Okay. Dion Talk, I think is what it is. Okay. That's why I encourage you, if you want to invest in real estate, don't only watch my channel, watch other channels. I doubt you'll get these other channels saying to watch Maskey Finance, but I'm trying to help everyone. The other channels who don't mention Maskey Finance, don't watch them. Okay. But with that being said, I encourage you to watch other real estate investing channels because you can learn something from everybody. Take it in your own mind, regurgitate it, and figure out how you want to do things because we all can take our own path. We all take our own journey. We all can figure out how to do things. So anyway, when you buy rental property, you got to learn how to run the numbers, right? And I'll cover just in a nutshell. You take all your rent that you get in, multiply it by 30%. That 30% will cover roughly 10% to the property manager and about 20% for 3 categories: vacancies, repairs, and capital expenditures. Because every rental property you own will at some point go vacant. Every rental property you own will have some sort of repair. Every property you own will have some sort of capital expenditure. Repair, fix a leaking sink. Capital expenditure, buy a hot water heater. The big ticket items, okay? The repairs you make frequently, the capital expenditures, hopefully, are after a decade or two for everything: roof, window, HVAC, AC, all that kind of stuff. Okay. So, but do you want to self-manage? Because a lot of investors might say, well, if I self-manage, I save that 10%. Yes, you do, but it's your work, it's your time involved because you have to do everything in self-managing. You got to market, you got to advertise, you got to clean, you got to manage contractors, you got to learn how to manage tenants, screen tenants, manage tenants, collect payments, be a bookkeeper, everything. You got to do everything. If anyone tells you it's easy, they're lying. It's not easy. Sure, some people can get the technique down and do a lot easier than others. But if you're self-managing, there's work involved. You do have to put the work in. Yes, you may streamline things. You may line up your contractors. They're in your phone. They're in your speed dial, all your contractors. You may have everything, when they pay you, it's all put into your spreadsheets or however you manage your rent. Everything's done automatically, perhaps. But you got to get there. You got to learn how to figure out what you're doing. Let me throw out a trick I learned from Dion. Okay, Dion talks about the binder strategy. He, I believe, was on Reddit, I believe, where he got chastised and derogatory comments about him because he was one of those mean landlords. I'm one of those mean landlords. Not. Most landlords aren't mean. Most landlords are just like you and I. They're just blue-collar men and women. Okay? So, what did I do? What's the binder strategy? You may know what it is. But I did my mazske version of the binder strategy. I am 1,000 miles away from that tenant, okay, that I self-managed property on. Now, I used to live there. I know this tenant. I've met this tenant. I used to cut the grass for that tenant. I unclogged their toilet one time. I've done other things for that tenant. I know the tenant, okay? I trust the tenant as much as you can trust another person. And so, anyway, lease renewal time is coming up. I do give her a 2-year lease because it's Mazke's choice. I give a 2-year lease, okay? It's the only tenant I do this for. And so when it's lease renewal time, there's always going to be some sort of rent increase. So I told her I wanted to talk to her about this. So when I talked to her, I reminded her, just in case she forgot, that my real estate taxes went up 28%, okay? 28%. My homeowner's insurance on that house went up. Didn't recall the percentage, but it went up. All homeowners insurance has gone up. And I get emails in from Zillow. Zillow's the main one, but I check Realtor.com. I check Zillow different times. Market value rent of that house was about $300 more than what I was charging. Okay? Now, with that being said, this tenant always paid me a little bit extra. She realized that she was paying under market value rent, so she always paid me $25. $30, $40 extra, okay? So when I talked to her, I explained to her all those 3 things I told you. I thanked her for paying me extra on the variety of months because almost always she pays extra. And then I said, well, let me put the ball back in your court. I said, what do you think rent should be? Basically, what do you think rent should be? And she said basically, well, I really don't want you to jack the rent up $300 like to market value because I really want to stay here and I couldn't afford to stay here if you want up that high. And I said, I understand. I want to keep you there. I like you as my tenant. I said, so what do you think? And she goes, well, I'm kind of mentally prepared if you raise the rent $100. I'm prepared. I can do that. I can afford that. I said, are you sure? And she said, yes. I said, well, tell you what, this is what we'll do. How about we raise the rent $90, not $100, $90. And she goes, you can do that? I said, yes. And she goes, oh, she thanked me because she said, thanks for not raising it $300 because she knows I could get $300 more. But I want to keep her in there. I get my rent's paid to me 2 weeks early on average every single month. She's never missed a payment. She's never been late. She's always early. She does pay me extra at times, okay? And I want to keep her in there. I let her choose the rent and I knocked a little bit off of it, okay? Now, if she came back in and given a $20 increase, I might not have knocked a little bit off of it. I might have gone higher than that. But she didn't because she's a fair person. I'm a fair person. Okay? There's such a thing called market value rent. Sure, everybody wants a deal, but you got to realize that landlords, we got to pay higher taxes. We got to pay higher insurance. We got to pay higher labor costs. We got to pay more for contractors. Everything is more expensive. So we got to do what we got to do to survive. Okay, so hopefully you learned something there. You probably already know about this, but it's a success story for what Dion calls the binder strategy. I didn't have a binder. It was all up here. So and it was over the telephone. I'm 1,000 miles away from that tenant. So if you got any questions, put them below. If you haven't done so already, please subscribe, like, click the thumbs up, comment, share my videos, do whatever. I'm here to help you. I will talk on a variety of topics. As time goes on, I will share a variety of stories, experiences, so on and so on and so on. But my goal is to help you become a multi-millionaire, as well as I want you to be healthier. And green tea does so many great things for us if we drink it. I encourage you, if you don't like the caffeine, drink decaffeinated green tea. That's what this is. This is decaffeinated green tea. I buy loose tea bags. So it's I mean, not loose tea bags, it's loose tea. I got a little measuring tablespoon type thing, scoop, and I measure it out and have a cup or two or three every day. I get another cup kind of green tea also, powdered green tea that's when you drink it, you actually are consuming the tea leaves because they've been ground up, and it has extra benefits for you. So anyway, enough of that. Hopefully you have a great day. Stay safe in all you do. Mazske is signing out.